States and school districts across the country are increasingly weighing laws and protocols aimed at limiting or even banning cell phones in the classroom. In Los Angeles, the nation's second largest district voted in June to ban cell phone use. And in Nevada, some middle schools and high schools will be storing students' phones during the day. Several other states have enacted legislation limiting access while classes are in session. But some parents are pushing back, saying that they are worried about emergency situations and being able to get a hold of their kids. So I want to bring in Laura Meckler, who is a national education writer at the Washington Post, to talk more about this hot button issue, because we know parents and educators have very strong opinions on this. So why are these school districts across several states pushing for this change right now?
Yeah, it has become beyond just a trend. It's becoming almost like a flood of districts and states that are adopting these policies. And the reasons, I think, are twofold. One, you hear from teachers that cell phones are just very distracting in the classroom. You know, and I think as adults, we can relate to this. If you've ever been at dinner with someone with their cell phone who can't really go through the conversation without glancing down. The other issue is mental health. There's a serious mental health crisis right now for teenagers, and a lot of that is driven by social media. So if you're sitting there thinking, how many likes did I get on my Instagram post, or who's looking at my Snapchat, are you really focusing on what's happening in the classroom?
Absolutely, Laura. And I would think maybe bullying on phones would also be another issue. What are some of the other challenges teachers say they face with phones in the classroom?
Sure, just anything bad that can happen in a teenager's life is probably happening on their phone. I would say one of the more extreme examples I heard was from the teachers union president in Cleveland, where they actually made it part of their contract talks to ban cell phones in their schools. She said that kids were actually planning fights to happen on their phones. They would plan them by texting each other over the course of the day, and then they would meet up. They would record the fights on their phones and then post them to social media. All of this happening on their phones during the day. So that would be an extreme example, but you know, it happens on every single level. Whatever it may be, the cell phone is something that gets in your head. And obviously, phones are wonderful and can be used for many positive things. But in the life of a teenager, unfortunately, there are a lot of very negative things as well.
And parents aren't all on board with this. I know, I'm a parent myself, and a lot of my friends, some are on one side, some are on the other. What can you tell us about petitions some parents are even organizing against these bans and limitations? What are parents saying?
Well, I think parents have become very accustomed to being able to reach their kids 24/7. And some of them are very uncomfortable with the idea of not having that access. In some cases, I think that they're concerned about just like little things like, hey, I need you to pick up something after school, or don't forget to turn in your science exam, or something like that. But in other cases, you actually hear quite a bit parents who are worried about, what if there's an emergency situation? What if, God forbid, there's a school shooting? How will I be able to reach my kid? So, I think there are responses to all of that, but that is what you hear sometimes from parents.
It's going to be interesting to see how schools across the country deal with this. Laura Meckler, thank you for that.